Google's YouTube losing major advertisers upset with videos. Racist content prompts big exodus from YouTube. Big advertisers flee YouTube hate speech. Brands boycott YouTube after ads appear on racist content. Advertising boycott of YouTube broadens as Pepsi, Walmart, Starbucks withdraw ads. YouTube is facing a full-scale advertising boycott over hate speech. YouTube's ad problems finally blow up in Google's face. YouTube hate videos haunt advertisers on YouTube. Advertisers are fleeing YouTube to avoid directly funding creators of hateful content. Amid an advertiser exodus, even YouTube's own ads are running on vile content. Irish firm proposes solution to YouTube advertiser concerns. Google's bad week. YouTube loses millions as advertising row reaches US. Advertisers demand Google discounts after YouTube backlash. All of those stories come from the last few days, not even a week old. This is a big news story right now, so you might be under the mistaken impression that the news media is covering this story. They're not covering this story, they're creating this story. I think to really understand this story, you have to be kind of cued into the relationship that exists between new media and old media. Old media, the traditional kind of stodgy publications, for the longest time, they looked at people like me and Sargon of Akkad and, these kind of folks out there pushing a different narrative than the one they're pushing. They kind of looked at us as a joke. Didn't take us seriously, didn't have any respect, and that's fine. That's their prerogative. But recently, I think a little bit of it started to stick in their craw a little bit that YouTubers like PewDiePie get more traffic to their YouTube channels than the Wall Street Journal gets to its entire online publication. I think that bothers them. I think that chafes their ass a little bit, and I'm pretty sure that's why they launched into a totally dishonest attack campaign against PewDiePie, trying to frame him as a Nazi. Oh, he's a Nazi. It's hate speech. Look at this hateful content that our kids are consuming. They tried to do the same thing to JonTron. Now, admittedly, maybe JonTron gave him a little bit more to work with. Maybe he said some things that were kind of ignorant and stupid. But they did the same thing to him. He's a Nazi. He's a Nazi. He's a Nazi. Look, he's a white nationalist Nazi, white supremacist piece of shit. And when they tried to launch these attacks against PewDiePie, against JonTron, and against YouTube as a platform in general, they first made an appeal to the hearts and minds of the people. And it didn't work. They tried to cast PewDiePie as a Nazi, and yeah, they lost him some contracts and stuff. But how did PewDiePie's audience feel about the whole thing? They 100% took PewDiePie's side. None of them were like, the media's right, you guys. This guy's a Nazi. Let's go. Let's get out of here. This is hate speech. We don't need to be listening to this stuff. They couldn't get people to do it with JonTron either. Now, some people just watched the JonTron live stream and said, fuck this guy, I don't really want anything to do with him anymore. And that's fine. That was their own personal decision based on the truth. But then the media comes along and tries to spin it even harder. Oh, he's a Nazi, he's a white supremacist, he's a white nationalist. And then, of course, there were just the general attacks against the YouTube platform. Oh, it's a platform for hate speech. Oh, it's vile. Oh, it's vulgar. Can you believe anyone watches this? Blah, 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 blah. Try to get people to get on their side. And they just still couldn't do it. So the media, the old media, have developed a new strategy. Instead of going after the hearts and minds of the people because they realize the people have turned on them and don't give them any credibility anymore, they're going to somewhere where they do have credibility, with advertisers. Because they can say to advertisers, hey, look, we're the media. We control the narrative. We control people's sensibilities. None of that's even true anymore. But these fuckers in advertising don't they haven't got that memo yet. None of that's even true anymore, but the media, in their minds, they control the narrative. They control people's sensibilities. They decide what is and isn't offensive. So they get to go to these advertisers and say, look, we're the safe place to advertise. We're safe because we have all these journalistic mechanisms in place that make sure that we never deviate from the narrative that we constantly push on people. And these YouTube, that's just the fucking Wild West. Look at all these crazy different opinions on YouTube. Look at all these people who dare to have ideas that challenge our ideas. You don't want to advertise with them, do you? Look at them. Some of them hate gay people. You want your ads to appear on a video that hates gay people? You want your ads to appear on some pro-ISIS video? You want your ads to appear on some misogynistic video? Do you really want to turn people against your content by advertising on these fucking horrible videos that are so offensive? Well, a lot of people are offended by the mainstream media in this country. A lot of people are offended by their deception. A lot of people are offended by the way that they only get half-truths from the media. A lot of people are offended by the way the media only covers the stories that fit its narrative and ignores the ones that don't. And of course, every source has a narrative. Everyone's peddling an ideology to you, including me. But that's what we call the open marketplace of fucking ideas, right? That's what you want. You want there to be different people offering different points of view. And yeah, sometimes those points of view might be ones you don't like. They might be ones you don't agree with. But don't you think that it's preferable for us to have robust viewpoints? Because let me tell you what this recent media-created narrative is designed to do. It's designed to scare advertisers away from YouTube, to scare advertisers away from channels like mine, or like Sargon of Akkad, or anybody that actually has real opinions on this fucking website. It's meant to scare advertisers away from us so that we can't make any money, so that we can't make our content, so that we can't compete with them. Basically, they couldn't win the battle for the hearts and minds of the people, so they're going to win the money battle. They're going to make sure that people like me can't get paid, so we can't come on here and spew ideas that are counter to the media's narrative. That's exactly what's happening here. That's not a fucking conspiracy theory. Every fucking step of that you can see happening. You can see the media pushing this story and pushing this story and pushing this story. Do you think there's a tremendous amount of interest in this subject matter from everyday people? Do you think people are clamoring for more news about advertisers dropping YouTube? Do you think that's what's really fascinating people right now? The people who are fascinated by it are only fascinated from the perspective that I'm looking at it from, which is, oh, what a blatant and crass attempt by the media, the old media, to destroy the new media. That's all that's going on here. Look, guys, most of the big channels here on YouTube have Patreon accounts. If advertising dollars are not going to keep these sorts of channels afloat, then it's going to be up to you. It's going to be up to the viewers of such channels to keep this content alive. Because if advertising is pulled from the Amazing Atheist channel tomorrow, and I can't find a new revenue stream, there's not going to be any more Amazing Atheist channel. I'm pretty sure the same would be true for a ton of my contemporaries. Logicked, Armored Skeptic, Shoe on Head, Mundane, Matt, Sargon of Akkad, whoever, Chris Raygun. All these people have built their careers around, hey, I'm someone who has enough charisma and the ability to present things in a compelling enough way that people listen to me. All these people who have built their careers on that, they're going to find that shit just obliterated. Unless you can help out. Now, this hasn't happened yet. It's not incumbent upon you yet to support this kind of content with your own money. But if YouTube does pull advertising from these sorts of channels, then the only way they survive is if you're willing to open up your pocketbook. Pocketbook. Who the fuck has a pocketbook? It's just an expression. Whatever. Open it up and give some money to these channels. Give some money to the channels that you support. Like I said, that hasn't happened yet. Maybe it won't happen. Maybe this whole thing will blow over. But if that does happen, you guys are going to have to be the ones that support these channels to keep making content. You're not going to be able to do it just by watching ads anymore because they won't put ads on our videos. You're going to have to do it by actually giving us some money. Even if it's just, hey, I'll give you $1 a month because I'm fucking broke. Well, enough of that dreary bullshit. Let's focus on something more positive. After my last video about Steve Shives' virtue signaling anti-Nazi pin, I made a joke about him wearing a shirt that says murder is bad. A shit ton of people wrote me and said, I want that shirt to exist. And because I am good to my people, I have created it. New $20 shirt available in my shirt store. And still available at my store is my Amazing Atheist Skull t-shirt. You can see it being modeled here by some edgelord gentlemen. Oh yeah. So if you're a fucking little edgelord bitch and you want the perfect edgelordy looking shirt to wear, recommend you buy my skull shirt. Or if you want a virtue signal and let people know that you and you alone take a bold stand against murder, then buy my virtue signaling anti-murder shirt. Let people know you are against murder. I'm the Amazing Atheist. Please subscribe to my channel. I appreciate each and every one of you, except for the stupid ones, which no one thinks they are, so peace the fuck out.